Hello and welcome. Today we're diving deep into the 2024 BRICS Summit held in Kazan, Russia, where major decisions were made that could reshape the global economy. In this video, we'll analyze key data on BRICS's new members, financial initiatives, trade impacts, and what it all means for the future of global power. Let's look at the numbers and see how BRICS 2024 could change everything. BRICS, which started as a 5-member bloc, now includes 5 additional countries: Saudi Arabia, Egypt, UAE, Iran, and Ethiopia. Let's talk about the population impact. With the addition of these new members, BRICS now represents over 40% of the world's population, around 3.4 billion people. That's nearly half of the entire planet. This growing alliance now has a massive demographic influence, bringing together people from every corner of the world. This demographic shift means that BRICS is not just a regional powerhouse, but has become a group representing a vast portion of humanity. GDP power. The combined GDP of the expanded BRICS group now accounts for nearly 30% of global GDP. Compared to the G7, which comprises around 44% of global GDP, BRICS is positioning itself as a close competitor. Why does this matter? With a larger share of the global population and economy under BRICS, decisions made within this bloc could sway global markets, particularly in emerging economies. This summit also underscored a commitment to increasing intra-BRICS trade. Current trade among BRICS members stands at around $500 billion annually. However, with expanded membership, there's potential for this figure to increase substantially projected trade growth. Experts suggest that trade between BRICS nations could grow to $800 billion over the next decade with new agreements in place. By focusing on trade in local currencies, BRICS aims to reduce reliance on the US dollar, which currently dominates global trade and reserves. Sectoral strengths. Each new BRICS member brings its own strengths. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are key players in energy. Egypt brings strategic access to the Suez Canal, and Ethiopia represents one of Africa's fastest growing economies. Iran, rich in oil and gas, adds another energy giant to the bloc. This focus on increasing intra-BRICS trade could mean stronger economic ties, allowing these nations to rely less on Western markets, potentially creating a new economic ecosystem. One of the major goals highlighted at the summit was the establishment of a BRICS payment system to reduce dependency on Western-dominated financial systems. Currently, about 88% of global trade is conducted in US dollars. But BRICS leaders are discussing ways to reduce this reliance. Currency reserves. BRICS countries hold significant foreign currency reserves, collectively totaling over $5 trillion. The push to conduct trade in local currencies would allow BRICS nations to preserve these reserves for critical needs, instead of using them for international transactions. Impact of de-dollarization. If BRICS shifts even 10% of its trade away from the dollar, this would reduce the dollar's role in global reserves, which could have major implications for the strength of the US dollar worldwide. This also lays the groundwork for a potential BRICS common currency, an idea discussed at this year's summit. Digital infrastructure. Some BRICS countries, like China, have already developed digital currencies, like the digital yuan. A BRICS digital currency could be the next step toward a unified payment system that enhances financial independence for the bloc. Energy was another significant topic at the summit, especially given the presence of major energy producers like Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE. Together, BRICS members produce nearly 40% of the world's oil supply. With Saudi Arabia and Russia leading oil production, BRICS could exert significant influence over global energy markets. If BRICS nations align on energy policies or pricing strategies, this could impact global oil prices. Renewable energy commitment. Some BRICS countries, notably China and India, have ambitious renewable energy goals. This summit featured discussions on joint ventures in renewable energy, with the goal of reducing carbon emissions while meeting the energy needs of growing populations. This energy cooperation could make BRICS a dual powerhouse, leading both traditional and renewable energy sectors, potentially reshaping energy markets globally. On the sidelines of the summit, leaders engaged in several bilateral talks, setting the stage for new alliances. Russia and Egypt signed agreements focused on military cooperation and infrastructure development. With Egypt now a BRICS member, these partnerships may lead to increased influence for Russia in Africa. Saudi Arabia and China discussed ways to enhance their trade relations. Currently, China is Saudi Arabia's largest trading partner, with trade between the two countries reaching around $87 billion in 2023. This partnership could further deepen, particularly if Saudi Arabia starts trading oil in the Chinese yuan. These agreements highlight how BRICS members aim to create stronger strategic alliances that could reduce dependence on Western partners. With the 2024 BRICS Summit marking the largest expansion to date, let's look at some data points to understand BRICS' positioning on the global stage. Over the next decade, BRICS is projected to grow at an annual rate of around 5 to 6%, outpacing G7 growth rates of approximately 2 to 3%. By 2030, the combined GDP of BRICS countries could surpass that of the G7, creating a massive shift in economic power. Expanded BRICS membership means expanded voting power in international organizations, which could lead to greater collective influence on global policies, from climate change to digital governance. The bloc's push for reforms in institutions like the IMF could reshape international finance to reflect the interests of emerging economies. What does all this mean for the future? BRICS' growing economic power, combined with its commitment to financial independence, trade expansion and energy cooperation, could signal the rise of a multipolar world order, where economic power isn't concentrated in the hands of a few Western countries. Instead, we could see a more balanced distribution of power driven by BRICS' influence. The 2024 BRICS Summit marked a defining moment in global history. With new members, strategic economic plans, and ambitious reforms, BRICS is taking a bold step towards shaping the global future. As this group continues to grow, the ripple effects will be felt worldwide. So what do you think? Can BRICS change the global balance of power? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more deep dives on global economics and international relations. Thank you for watching.